We'll give you the old TV 5, 4. And we are live with another awesome tournament roast commentary tonight. It's going to be the first one we've done in quite a while. I think the last time we did it was Saber Light Nights, and it took quite a bit of legwork to get that one done. Now, Alan has been spending all the legwork himself this time, doing all the legwork, I should say. And he's put together quite not only a great event in January that we're going to talk about tonight and watch the fights from that, but also he's put a lot of effort into the video production tonight. And I'm pretty excited to see. He's been giving us little teasers. So that's kind of a good segue into what we're doing, the Rise of Phoenix tournament that happened at the end of January 2022. Sifu Allen, why don't you introduce yourself first and tell us a little bit about the event? Then you can kick it to our other two guests.
Absolutely. This is the Rise of Phoenix tournament that was done on January 29th of 2022. I prepared for you guys today so that we're not here for, a couple hours, just the medal matches. So we had two divisions. We had a Sarlacc division, which is the beginners tournament. So if you have less than 10 tournaments, or you're not confident enough to quote unquote play with the big boys and girls, and you're still trying to get used to fighting in a tournament, that's what the division is. So imagine this is like if we were to put this on the same frame as like a karate tournament or another martial arts tournament. This would be like the underbelt division. So if you weren't a black belt yet, then you'd be in this division, Sarlacc. And then we also have the Rancor division, which is now usually the knights and the Padawans that have been to a bunch of different tournaments or
like martial arts experience, prior martial arts experience.
I'd say martial arts experience definitely. I don't think that it's a detriment to just try. Mm-hmm. But that's about it.
Yep. So the two division model is kind of something that we're used to seeing from San Diego Sabers when they do their tournaments. It's really worked out efficiently for them, and you've done it now with 3 different tournaments as well.
I believe so, yes.
And it seems to have worked out pretty well for you. So next guest, let's just go right for it. We have somebody we've seen on the show before. This is the Emperor Penguin, the flipper of contention, the foil-wielding phenom, Nick Richardson.
That's me. Yay.
Nick, how are you? It's been a while since we've done something with you. You've been busier than a penguin at mating season. So how's it been?
It's been awful. School sucks. I recommend everyone to drop out of school now and do lightsaber because school's not fun. It's not fun.
Nick, did you compete in this tournament?
No, I have a student competing in it. Actually, technically a beginning student. He's only been with us for 3 to 4 months. His name is Steve. Okay. And from what I've heard, he's done well. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing his fights for the first time. So,
and I think Steve's been in the Holocron taking classes with us. Shameless plug, a few times as well. sabermartialarts.life/being-part-of-SMAF. Next guest, last guest for tonight. Somebody that I really enjoy doing these tournament commentaries with. This is Alan's lovely wife, Jill. What's going on, Jill?
Hey there.
We see you in the background during our meetings a lot, but we don't see you in the foreground as often as we should. So nice to have you back.
I'm glad to be here. And I'm just one of those people that runs in the background. Alan can attest. I'm the brain that keeps our tournaments running. You just never hear from me.
I can attest as well. I know that you've been very helpful, not just to like Phoenix Saber Academy, but definitely to SMAF as well. So, and I know Nick and you have worked closely on trying to figure out some of the logistics of pools and how to do rankings and things like that as well, and how to digitize things. So super cool. to have you with us. And you're not really like a martial artist, but you do have an eye for like, especially the right questions to ask or the right things to talk about, so that's going to be a fun part of having you on the show tonight. Alan, anything else you want to update us on before we get into the meat of this tournament here?
Basically, just as a caveat, I'm going to step back because I ran the event, unless there was some funky production thing or funky thing that maybe you can't hear on this, or if you have a direct question for me, I'd like you guys to commentate and tell me what you see and what you think, because then I can take notes and see what I can do better next time.
I just want anybody listening or watching to understand what that must take for you to like not like want to jump in on something, because what you just said about like wanting to like take your own notes and make things better. I'm sure there are a few people listening and watching that just took their notes about that and said, that's a kind of a smart idea. I didn't know you were going to do that. That being said, whenever you feel like jumping in, let us know, because there might be times where we need we'll say the officiant's eye. Is that the right word? That's like someone who marries people. Whatever. You married one blade to another, Alan.
Right.
Are we ready? Let's hit it. 3, 2,
right,
go.
I'm gonna hit play, and you guys let me know if there's any issues at all, because my Chinese name's Low Tech, so hopefully we can make this happen. Here we go.
Boom. Looking beautiful.
Love the SMAF green logo.
I know, and all the Phoenix like imagery.
This is such a cool intro. 10 out of 10. Love the flames.
The drums. Alan, you outdid yourself on this one.
Thanks.
All
so
right.
we have Logan and Spencer. Now, I've seen Spencer, and he was on an episode of SMAFcast before. And then, of course, we have Dennis from San Diego Sabers back there bowing himself in.
Okay, Logan on the right, Spencer. Or no, yeah, Logan on the left, Spencer on the right. There we go. I know my left and rights.
We should, before we even get any further with what we're talking about, just identify that this is taking place at the Phoenix Society for Historical Swordsmanship, run by, we'll say Mr. Richard Marsden, but as far as European martial arts go, he's as close to a present-day master as we can pretty much get. And very generous personality, who let you have this awesome lightsaber tournament at his very legitimate martial arts school. So, super cool. Dennis back there judging.
He ran all of the Sarlacc at this tournament. And,
who did? Richard did?
Oh, he ran the judging portion of it.
Okay.
Oh, very cool.
In the back. Dennis did. Thank you.
Dennis did. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Still
Dennis
cool.
ran the judging for all the Sarlacc.
And that was Dennis asking for his glasses. Just in case you guys didn't hear, I told everybody this judge is blind.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we've got the slow-mo replays here. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Spencer on the right.
Kind of see. Yeah, so Spencer's on the right and Logan's on the left. You'll the scoreboard down below is correct as well.
Ooh, that's a hard one to call, even with the slow mo. It does look like blue is ahead, but blue is on my blind side. I wonder what they'll call that. No, they gave it to blue.
Blue. How do we know who's who? Are we talking about blade color? Or are you just going by blade color?
I'm going by blade color.
Okay.
If they're wearing all black and the mask is on, it's blade color at that point.
It doesn't really bother me to do it that way. I actually kind of prefer to do it that way, because even when they're wearing an armband, I still tend to refer to them by their blade color.
Yeah.
But I think I gave that first point to Logan, and then I saw it in slow-mo and gave it to Spencer.
Yeah, ooh, that was good too.
Blue
is definitely getting those counter shots in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing about this is, remember, Sarlacc is the new experience, not super trained. And there was a lot of, you saw them pull back and stop short, like realizing they're about to overextend themselves. So regardless of their lack, I air quote that, of tournament experience, there was a lot of very good just awareness around the area.
Yeah. That's a thing that's hard to teach. You really have to just like harp it into people to keep their awareness. So that's a keen thing to pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer talked about his experience being mostly with practicing with a shinai, and you can kind of see that by the way he moves and holds his sword. His laser sword.
Spencer's a high school teacher, and last week I spent some time with them because they did like a medieval times thing where they fed people.
Right, yeah.
So to be honest, it's kind of neat to see 20 people in his quote unquote fencing club just, going at it.
You saw there, got a little impatient, went in a little early, and got hit for it.
Yeah, that was a nice shot by Spencer, very patient.
Oh, come on. You can't just give him a point like that. Oh, why'd you do that?
Well, I've got to give that to Logan, to be honest with you. I don't want to throw any shade on Logan for getting that point, because he moved Spencer's blade out of the way really expertly.
He got hit in the hilt, though.
Oh, did he really?
I couldn't tell
He
from
blade with the hilt. Oh,
He got the hilt, and that's why it ended up going to Spencer.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Logan, what are you doing?
Logan is
had a
very,
beautiful
very
beat,
good. And you can see here at the end, he's getting just a little more like, I'm at that last point. I'm running at those last points. Yeah.
That can...
But he did win.
Yeah, well, congratulations
took
to him. That is a thing, though, like... Oh, there you go, Spencer. Mm-hmm. Like getting a little impatient when you know you're ahead, that can lose you the fight sometimes, and it didn't in this case, which is nice.
Ooh, crate base.
Interesting fact about this match. When we went into it, Logan technically had to win twice because Sarlacc was double elimination. And on the other side here, he hadn't lost yet. He had gone the entire tournament without a loss, and everyone else had at least one going in. So,
interesting. Nice shot there.
It was a very nice shot.
Jose's definitely going to be focusing Makashi. It looks like that early footwork was really good, but man, did he sell himself short by not planting his feet on that strike. He really kind of just gave his opponent a free point, and it happened again. Did it twice in a row. Like, really
he's
just
going in with his blade low.
Look at that residual momentum he has off the lunge. He's not planting good enough.
Dude, I got to give Logan the credit. Like, everything you're saying is correct, but I also have to give Logan the credit, man. He's picking his shots.
Oh!
Like, right there again.
Get him! Get him, Logan! That's what's up. Sorry, Jose, you're doing great, but man, that was sexy.
No, it is. It's very, like, I don't know. It's like Form 5-ish, but too simple to be Form 5. Almost straight up Form 1 as Form 1 as you can get, Which I'm sure Dennis is back there loving.
I'm unsure if Jose's remise ended up hitting Logan's leg. That looked very close.
What is a remise again?
Like a afterblow?
Point went to Jose.
It did go to Jose, okay.
Oh, it did? Oh, okay, so it did land.
I'm not really looking at the scoreboard. It's something I don't really look at scoreboards that often. I don't know why.
But keep in mind here that one side knows they only have one shot, and the other side knows that if they mess up the first match, they do it again.
Oh! Whoa!
Yeah, Alan, were you telling the fighters their scores as they were fighting?
Yes.
I believe Dennis was.
Okay.
Yeah, updating them as they go. Is Logan somebody who trains at Phoenix Society?
Funny story. Logan is one of my second-degree black belts.
In Kung Fu.
For his third degree in Kung Fu.
Okay.
And he found somebody to teach him HEMA.
Ooh.
Who just happened to be the guy that taught Richard Marsden how to do HEMA.
So he is
close to
he is as legit as he seems then, because he seems pretty legit.
Yeah, he's 15.
He's 15 years old?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, Logan!
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason he was in the Sarlacc. He's very talented.
I want to fight Logan. Dang. I also want to fight you too, Jose, but I want to fight Logan.
Well,
Jose, that's what's up. There you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say he extended really well on that one. Good use of your whole body length.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, That put Logan in a new perspective for me. Like, I don't know. It sounds kind of stupid to be like, oh, he's only 15, but it is kind of one of those things where you're like, damn.
Seeing his body language and how he's performing here is not telling me he's 15.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Much more experienced than what was just said. It's kind of hard for me to believe that he's like beginner level 15. I would say more intermediate, high intermediate, and then like probably early 20s.
I will say though, Jose looks like he's got some training too, and he's in the lead right now. Like,
oh yeah,
he's wearing a gi, so it looks like a taekwondo uniform. Maybe, I don't know if that's what they use at crate base or whatever, but it looks like he's wearing a uniform that he earned the right to wear, right?
I remember his exchange. That one was
his
very
body
good.
moves really well, so
yeah,
certainly an interesting fight. But now that I know that about Logan, when you see somebody that young who has that much experience, like, there you go again. Like, that's a perfectly executed role.
Yeah, but Jose
Logan
had
gets
that
or
in so
Jose
quickly.
gets in first, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good on both guys. You can't take that away from Jose.
That was
either,
excellent.
man. Both of these, and he even sheaths his sword afterwards. I love it. Like,
Yes, Jose
Good
has
job,
very good
Jose.
conservation
good
of
job,
motion.
Logan.
So
Good job,
Jose
Logan, yeah.
constantly moves the minimum amount he needs to get the point. And it kind of tripped Logan up a few times there, who was extending himself a lot more.
I need to go to crate base and fight that
So
guy.
this
Oh my
is
God.
Rancor now. I gotta be
Yes.
honest. I kind of would expect that any of those other three guys in another tournament, maybe one or two tournaments from now, could probably compete in Rancor without
Agreed.
much difficulty.
I love how
Amazing.
underdressed Steve is. This makes me happy.
Oh, good
Attaboy,
length.
Steve. Attaboy.
Good length. Now, did Kenny get the point for that? Yep, Kenny got
Yep.
the point. Looks like Steve might have just barely missed. Kenny getting out of the way, skinny little Kenny.
What the heck
And these
happened
are
there?
single
Handshot?
elimination. Rancor was just a single elimination tournament the whole
Handshot.
way up.
Single elimination, okay.
hmm Yeah, for the Sarlacc, who were all trying to get more experience, we made sure that they would at least get 2 fights in the main tournament before they were out.
Ooh, bad move, Steve.
This is the
Yeah.
battle of the long lunges right here. Pa-pow. Then another one. Pa-pow. Then another
Steve,
one.
stack of plates. What are you doing with your back? I taught you better than this.
Stack of plates. I
I
like it. Now, did Kenny get that hand shot?
I think Kenny got the hilt shot.
He gets that one right there,
encounter
for sure.
earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow,
Steve
that
got
was
that.
an interesting
Steve got it.
exchange.
Kenny fell victim to the thing that Kenny constantly falls victim to. His arms are shorter than everyone else's.
Yeah, yeah. And he likes to be long. He likes to get in
Oh,
there.
yeah. It,
Whoa!
it was
Ooh, with the style.
oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was a hit.
Yo, somebody call New Line Cinema. That move
Oh,
is
how
straight
did he-
out of
wait,
Jackie
I need to
Chan.
see this again. This is so lit. Ooh, okay, Steve. I like the
Here
footwork.
comes Slack.
Yep.
So, did
Oh
Steve
my
get that
God.
point? Because it looked
I
like
don't
Steve
know.
landed it. But man, that was a cool exchange by both.
Steve
It
Kenny
went to
got that
Kenny.
one.
No, it went to Kenny. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Kenny
got
deserves it on
just
style
under.
alone.
Oh, yeah.
Steve barely missed his back.
Oh man.
Ooh, that was nice and quick.
hmm
If you can
I'm
hear
watching
the
Kenny
sound of
use
their
more
blades.
tools than usual too. Kenny usually sticks to a certain style and works decent for him.
That's a good
But he's
point.
using a few more tools.
Kenny went much further in this tournament than he usually does because he opened up his
Yeah.
toolbox a little bit more.
See, the kid's like a really good martial artist. He just doesn't care about winning enough.
Well, it's not about winning.
I
It's
go
about
through the
having
same
fun,
thing.
right?
I just don't care about
It
winning.
is
I
about
just wanna
having
have
fun. And
Exactly.
I remember being at a Penguin tournament and watching
Ooh.
an honor battle and just watching Kenny give away an honor battle that I'm like, I'm pretty sure you won that 3 times over, but you just kept saying, oh, I got hit, and your opponent never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kenny giving an honor call right there, speaking of which.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But
Very
I liked
honorable.
his aggression. Steve staying calm under
Ooh.
pressure in both of these
Ooh.
last 2 exchanges.
Who got that one? I saw Steve's hit on hand. Did Kenny
I
get
think
it, though?
that's the hit that got the point. No?
Is it? It looks Simo with this angle.
If you wait till the end, it's definitely a Simo, but Alan saw it for Kenny.
and it's
Oh,
about
this is great.
where you stand and how you see it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
His body
it's
was in
so
the way,
hard.
and I saw Kenny strike.
Ooh, I think that's Kenny. It's right to the shoulder.
Good. Kenny didn't telegraph that at all. I appreciated that.
Nope.
Because he went arm first and then the body. It was perfect.
Yep.
And see, we said that was Fimo. So
And you know what? That's fine because that's what you saw, right?
Kenny using the persuader too. I like it.
I like to point out Steve is using my hilt, so
what is he using? Slayer or Persuader? Or
Slayer.
Different.
Slayer.
I like Steve's his technique is decent. You know what I mean? Like I know he's not one of your veteran students, but he's got good body motion, good body mechanics, I should say.
He does. His body
good
mechanics
tap
have
there.
definitely been difficult to work with. He has something wrong in one of his lower vertebrae, and we've had to work around that a little bit. It's been fun. It's been fun.
You wouldn't really be able to tell. And
No.
the thing I like about watching him is that when Kenny doesn't really back down from a fight. So as Kenny goes in for a point and misses, Kenny's got to get way the hell out of dodge again. And then Steve knows that he's taller than Kenny, so he's using that when the opportunity arises. It's a very interesting match.
I would like to see Kenny go for
like that
Steve's
move by
legs
Kenny.
more. A lot of the times, like, Kenny's blade is kind of right next to his foot, and then he just kind of pulls away from it. And it's like, Kenny, if you just, like, stayed there, you would have accidentally gotten a point.
Kenny's feeling himself right now. You could tell, like, that last exchange when he just dodged with his blade. You could tell Kenny's into what he's doing right now.
Yeah. Ooh,
good strike.
that was so good.
Yeah, I could smell
Gave him a little tickle.
Kenny's pants filling up, if you know what I'm saying.
What? Filling up?
Oh,
With
yes,
what?
and these medal tournaments went to 10 instead of 5.
Oh, okay.
When
Gotcha.
he missed that shot, Nick, I could smell the brown mud through the screen.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what is he feeling? Ooh, just a nice little caress.
Is that a little rebound off the blade?
I can't tell.
4-8 or 8-4, depending on who you ask.
Oh, that was a great block by Kenny. Beautiful 5 block. Look at that.
I agree.
Look at that. Redirects momentum perfectly. I think that's a hard one to call point-wise. It could be Simo. It could be Kenny's. Yeah.
It went Kenny.
Good. As it should. That was perfect. Ugh. Chef's kiss on that one, Kenny.
Yeah, anybody who's never, like, I say this every time we do a commentary, anybody who's never watched something like this before or heard anybody talk about it before, like, first of all, it's all of the other sword fighting arts you've ever seen and none of them all at once. So you take that into account. But also, like...
Ooh, out of bounds! Get him, ref! Get him!
You see, like, just because we see something doesn't mean that that's what Alan saw in the moment or what Dennis saw in the moment or what Kenny and Steve were feeling when it happened.
And that's when I pointed him out about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the luxury of not being there in person and not having the pressure.
Exactly.
So, like, we can have a more objective view, but the problem is we're also only getting a one-dimensional angle. We're not seeing everything. It's
yeah.
It's a
So
mess.
for Steve, you saw about the halfway point when he hit about his 5th point, he realized how much taller he was than Kenny. He realized his reach over Kenny, and that's when the entire momentum of the match changed from Kenny in control of everything to Kenny having to keep backing up. So he was
perfectly
learning
said,
the
yes.
entire match.
Yep.
Perfectly said. Ooh.
Yep.
Let me
And
tell you,
one
Sloan
match like that is a good learning experience for somebody at that level.
Sloan is one of my favorite people to watch. He's the guy on the right now. And let me tell you, I remember him starting 2 or 3 years ago. He was one of my first matches ever, like, to fight with someone at San Diego Sabers when we first visited. And he was good then. But seeing him just, like, look at this. The dude I think got bronze, or he medaled in our tournament back in the summer. And here he is again in like a 1 or 2 situation here. And it's just like, Sloan, you beautiful human being.
Well, and Dennis, I don't know if he won or got 2nd place, but Dennis routinely places in the top of the over 50 bracket in the TSL tournaments. And whenever he competes in San Diego Saber tournaments, they're either close matches if they're single elimination, or he's getting into the final 3 places, 4 places of the tournament. So he's quite a competitor, but as you can see, he can judge all those things. He's one of their oldest as far as experience knights. But you said Sloan was good then. Like, Sloan is just one of those people that's wanted it for the last 3-4 years and hasn't stopped wanting it and has only wanted it more.
Absolutely. God, I love
this is a crazy match.
This is a fun match.
Yeah.
Like, you're watching, like, Controlled and Refined on the left, and then you just have, like, Raw and, like, Thirsty on the right. It's beautiful. This is art.
Did Sloan get that point? Yeah. Sloan got
Yeah, he
that.
did.
This is better.
Dennis is very patient, almost too patient sometimes, and I think he might agree with that. Sometimes he might not. Sometimes he might be like, "Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about." But you know, he's so good that being that patient sometimes is like it's like what you expect from somebody who's been doing it for this long and is that good.
Oh,
You
nice.
expect them to take their time and measure their advances. But man, Sloan is just in there first, isn't he? It's just in there first, and sometimes it's just the way it goes.
He seems to be taking advantage of Dennis wanting to pop his hands up first before making a strike. So he's kind of doing like a little bit of a feint, and then Dennis keeps going up, and that's where Sloan keeps grabbing the hands. It's happened.
Yeah, Dennis is starting from a longer middle guard, which kind of lends itself to having to prep your blade first unless you go for a stab. But he probably doesn't want to stab Sloan without a chest guard very hard, you know what I mean?
He's muscular. He can handle it.
Well, no, that's actually a very good point when you say it like that, because Dennis is very experienced. He knows the damage that could do, and even though he's wearing hands, and even though he's wearing face, he's got the minimum amount of gear required. Dennis probably is trying very hard not to hurt him right now. Because
and Dennis, both of these guys are strong as an ox, but Dennis is definitely very strong. If he were to stab you with a two-handed grip without a chest guard, I'm sure it would hurt.
It's an accidental handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't wear chest guards in sparring a lot, but in a competitive situation, it is a good idea.
And this is also when we noticed Dennis's shoe was untied. We kind of let him know in the last match.
That's funny.
Ooh, okay.
Alan looking like Scorpion back there.
You can see the microphone that I had that was constantly giving feedback on the ground next to me.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for kunai to pop out of your palms with your arms outstretched like that. Oh, nice.
Wow. Good job, Dennis.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Dennis is that kind of fighter. Like, in an instant, he shows you why he's there. Like, he doesn't need to be winning. He just needs to remind you. And there it is. Like that. We just saw all we needed to see of Dennis. But here he is. He's neck and neck with Sloan now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was
and then Sloan just follows it up with a doink.
Yeah, that was a
frustrating hit for anybody.
Yeah, it sucks. It's just a bad day.
It's that Makashi versus Shicho right there. That's a perfect example of rock, paper, scissors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always talking smack on the pommel grip. That's also a nice exchange. But I'm always talking smack on the pommel grip, and then he just used it perfectly, which was switching to the pommel grip from a two-handed grip, but then going right back to the two-handed grip and not letting it wave out there like a limp you know what.
Yep.
Oh, these guys are going at it.
And this is the gold medal match, right? This is well deserved on both their parts.
Ooh.
They both fought well all day. Both of them are very skilled.
Good job, Dennis. Did that go to Dennis? Yes, it did.
And for just a moment at the start, you're like, is Sloan about to sweep this? And Dennis is like, no. He just had to get a feel for someone a little more chaotic than him.
Yep.
That was one of those exchanges where if Dennis had like some form of guard right there, like a Suba, oof, that would have been game over for Sloan. That would have just been cracked to the head.
But it wouldn't count because the Suba is still part of the hilt, and it would get cut right in half by the lightsaber blade.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh! Anybody listening? It's going to be split right in half. That was a polarizing statement.
Yep.
But they're first.
Tutsuba or not Tutsuba. Well, I'll just say, look at Dennis's build right there.
I mean, Dennis is doing great. He don't even need no Suba to do great.
Alan, you don't even allow Suba in competition, do you?
I allow it. They just have to know that it's a target.
Right.
Did anyone use a Suba?
I did not see one though.
I don't think they're not in this one.
Interesting.
And now they're tied up.
Even when given the option to, they were not used. That's very interesting.
Well, when it's target.
They're an easier to hit target that sticks out from you.
Oh my gosh, don't make sense or anything, guys. I can't wait for Sloan to get some of the type of patience that Dennis is exhibiting, because he's going to get to the point where he is sweeping people.
Dennis is in the lead now.
Dennis went from what, 5-0 to 8-7? Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dennis just educated himself so quickly, and if Sloan gets a little bit of that type of in-match IQ, man, he's gonna be so good.
So you'll notice from the beginning of the match to now, you were right. Dennis was going for those chest shots, and he kept pulling himself up short. He wasn't, hitting it as full. Sloan was going very, very fast. So Dennis went like 0-5, figuring out how fast this person's going. Oh, I need to tie my shoe. I should not aim for this person's chest, and then starts nailing in on those hands and those arms where he's not going to do a lot of damage. He doesn't have to worry about his opponent as much, and all of a sudden, Dennis just starts picking up points.
I like.
Oh, we got a LaBelle. I love
how you laid that out, because it kind of lends to the 10-point system being kind of nice for the higher division. It's kind of like when you watch MMA and they have the 15-minute fights for the undercard fights, and then the main card or your belt fight is 25 minutes. It's like it gives both fighters a little bit of time to like get to the point where they're using all of their techniques. Because if it's just a 5-point match, it's fine for getting the tournament done, but you don't get to see all this fun stuff, Over 10 points, you can waste a few points to learn about the other person and give a show over the next, 5, 6, 7 minutes. So this is fun.
From this angle, it did actually look like Dennis missed the knee. But I can see how from the other angle, it would have looked like he hit.
And there it is, the Sloan move. The slight fake, Dennis lift, and slaps him in the hands.
Yep. Removal of the lead hand, extension with the pummel hand.
Old reliable. Oh my god. What a great match. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
These boys went at it. Good job, gentlemen. Good job.
They went 9-9, and then that last one.
Oh my, and he's in the Star Killer garb.
Dude,
love
they
it.
both
oh
look
my god.
so badass. I love it. They both look so badass. Man, that was fun. That was super cool.
This is great.
Well done on the video editing too there, Low Tech Sifu.
Hey, thanks. So yeah, that was the Rise of Phoenix tournament 2022. We might be doing another one later on this year. As of right now, we don't know, but that was the medal matches. And part of what we want to do as Saber Martial Arts Foundation is always raise the bar. So that is me basically drawing a line in the sand for anybody that can do a better looking video.
Nice.
So
including myself, by the way.
A few things that we should talk about the tournament that you don't really see in the video, because the video is amazing. You see all the shots, everything is great. You can see all those medal matches. Yeah, just the fights. So some lessons we learned. We move fast. Our tournaments move very, very fast. And while me and Alan could keep up, we were like, yeah, this person's up, this person's up. We definitely needed our fighters. Either only one person's calling the matches, or we needed to have it up on a scoreboard for somebody to see. So that's something that we learned at that tournament. It was a new space. It'll be a lot better next time on that. But
I feel
otherwise,
like a scoreboard is tough to remember. Sorry. I was just thinking about that. Like, we've had the scoreboard talk many times. It's a tough thing to deal with sometimes.
It's honestly kind of on the lower totem pole of things like you remember for a tournament.
Until you get there, and then you're like, oh crap, we really need a scoreboard.
Who's coming up next? That's what the fighters needed. Who's coming up next? We could keep who had what score going just fine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I feel that.
I'm with
So you're
you.
saying like it almost felt like some of the fighters didn't really get much of a break because it was just like, all right, chill out, get a mask on, get your butt back in there.
Yeah.
I like it that
Don't
way.
get me wrong. We got the tournament going. We got it done. Alan did an awesome job emceeing it. We kept everything moving. The energy stayed up. It was just one thing that we noticed at the very end. A couple of the, not the Rancor, but a couple of the Sarlacc people were a little bit like, wait, is the tournament over? And we're like, yeah, we told you were only going to be an hour and a half. Like, let's do this. Go. And they're like, oh. So that's just something I noticed going forward. We'll probably need to slow it down for some of the newer to tournament people.
You could even add, divisions, things like that. And it all depends on semantically what you can accomplish too, because, we say this ad nauseum. Nobody's getting paid to do this.
No.
And just because you paid a tournament fee doesn't mean that went into anybody's pocket, except
Not
whoever
even
already got paid for things. You know what I mean? Like it's all circular, going right back into putting on more stuff like this. It's like if you break even, man, you really had a profit, didn't you? So I think you did a tremendous job setting it up, because I knew what you put into it behind the scenes, obviously, but seeing what happened and seeing how smoothly it went, and to Jill's point, like there was no like dilly-dallying. It looked like everybody knew what they were supposed to do and where they were supposed to be, like that. There you go. There's a good example of how you accomplish a tournament. I mean, it's not rocket science, but there's a bit of a science to it, and there's definitely an art to it. And
Alan's got the art to running a tournament down at this point.
He's got you for the science, though.
Well, yes.
It's very clear that everything was pretty smooth. So, that being said, Alan, what would you, broad strokes, maybe do differently?
What would I do better, or what did I think about the?
I don't know. Like after having done it, you've done a few tournaments. Obviously, you've been to so many tournaments. Like, what now after this particular one? Did you maybe learn, or did you maybe improve, or would you improve? What do you think?
Well, a couple of extenuating circumstances, like the pandemic and people getting sick beforehand, or one of their family members being sick.
I'm not laughing at him. It's just it's one of those things now.
Yeah, made this tournament a lot more. It's a little bit unpredictable. I basically did not know who was going to actually show up until I walked in the room and saw them. Most tournaments, you'll know because the registration will happen and everything like that. Now, there were a bunch of people that did register, but the week upcoming to it, so sorry, man, I can't make it. One of my family members got tested positive for COVID. So I was like, okay, well, hopefully enough people show up to fill in the brackets. So we actually did an audible because not enough people showed up for Sarlacc. So instead of doing, just 3 brackets here and a bye, we basically just decided, okay, well, we'll just do a double elimination tournament. People will be here longer anyway. Everybody's just going to go to 5. And it's pretty simple enough to say that if you show up to the tournament, you can actually play around a little bit. The thing about this is you saw about half an hour's worth footage, but there was a 18 minutes worth of pools for the Sarlacc. And then there was a 24-minute pool for the Rancor as well. So there was a whole hour of pool fighting. So
Hold on.
Here's the thing. The way we do pools in our tournaments is an endurance match. So basically you have 3 minutes to score cumulative points, and we basically play meat grinder. Some people call it one hit wonder, some people call it king of the hill. But basically you are in a line into the ring and doing an exchange. It was 18 minutes straight for some of these people that have never done a tournament before.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. And then
what made you decide to do that instead of standard like 5-point matches? Just time?
just time. It's a great way for them to warm up, and it doesn't really mean much if you're not the one scoring the points, but it still means something if you're denying somebody else the points.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
And the way that it worked, we walked into this trying it, and I did have a concern. It turns out I was wrong. I was worried the people who were going to come later in the pool in the endurance test, because they'd already been fighting, that they wouldn't have as good a time. And completely wrong. I think it was the second to last person who took first seed in the pools.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
it's
that's where
nice
your
to
conditioning comes in.
Yep.
I was just going to ask Nick, what kind of things did you see? What did you maybe learn yourself? Because you've done a few tournaments, one recently as well.
I learned that I still want to clap some cheeks, and that it's gonna be a good time. I mean that in like a fighting way, not the other way.
Mhm.
Sorry, my bad.
Mhm.
I saw your reaction. No, sorry. Clap some sabers. How about that? Does that sound better?
Sure.
No, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. I mean, it is saber fighting. I like the fact that, we're normalizing doing more longer points for like the medal bouts. I'm really into that. When the scene first started like 10 years ago, it was still like to 5 points. So it's great to see other SMA schools being like, you know what, F it, 10 points for gold medal match, 15 points. Like, I love that.
Again, especially for the advanced people, man, we want to see them fight. We want to see you fight. So,
yeah, I also like the emphasis of endurance. I am such a huge fan of pools in any format, whether it's King of the Hill or regular European. I like if you're a good fighter, you're not only going to be good at like engagements, you're going to be good at surviving.
Mhm.
And how do you survive? With endurance. So like, hats off to you, Alan. I love your tournaments, and it's like, yes,
Gas tank will always win the fight if everything else is pretty even. Gas tank will win 100% of the time.
So a quick note: Sloan was the last one to do his pool matches, and he got first place. So
I'm sorry, who was the last one?
Sloan.
Sloan was the last one to do his pool matches. So he had the last 3 minutes of the 24 minutes to do his pool matches.
Wow.
And
then we
Sloan
bounced
was
back and forth.
active. Yeah.
Mhm.
He was very
So-
active in everyone else's rounds.
That's what
Yeah.
Sloan does.
And
He is
that was the thing that I will do better next time, because it was kind of a chaotic mess as far as my experience. I was like, just stand in a line and come in one at a time. You guys are making this far too complicated. Because they're just
understand.
kind of just jumping around and are you going? Am I going? Or are you going? Go ahead. You, me. I was
So
like,
maybe
you guys
a
are far too
little-
nice to each other. Stand in a line and just go.
yeah, a little more explanation, or at least some sort of rigid structure to it. Maybe, I don't know.
Next time I'll be involved in the pools and doing the same way, just
Yeah.
ringleading the crazy. Alan will be in charge of the judging, and I will just make sure that everyone stays in a line and gets in, gets
Everybody
out, gets in,
needs
gets
that.
out. And
Mhm.
we'll get it done much better next time. They were just it was a issue of overly polite, which is better than overly impolite in
Right, of
every
course.
way. But it was people like, they would move and they'd be like, oh, you're going, never mind, it's okay. And then we're like, no, someone go. So
Yeah, especially because it was time too. Like,
mhm.
Oh,
if
okay.
you are tentative to jump in, you're taking time away from the guy that's trying to make points.
100%.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, and you're wasting your own time too. When you said 18 minutes, 24 minutes, that's like less than an hour. Okay, my math is not great, but I know it's less than 60 minutes. And I have seen tournaments, not just Saber tournaments, but definitely Saber tournaments. I mean, definitely, where the pools might be hours. I mean,
Yeah.
like a mess of hours. 5, 6, 7. I've seen 8 hours worth of pools for 30 people participating. Ouch.
Right.
Yuck. Vomit everywhere. Diarrhea. Ew.
No, this was doing this endurance meant that the pools would go fast. we would get a similar result to based on our previous tournaments where we've done like the 5-point pools.
Right.
And looking at some of the same fighters who came in, we're getting similar results as to what they had. It was high energy. It was fast moving. But keep in mind, we're still living in pandemic land, so we don't want to keep everybody inside together for a long time. It
That's another good point.
Less judges in general to do it because you've just got the two, and it also
you don't want to exhaust them.
Nope, didn't have to exhaust them. It was limited. And once it's done and it's gone, you go and rest while the other division went and did their pools.
That's perfect.
So it also meant that there was plenty of rest time without there being a lot of sit around and wait time.
Right.
Yes.
So coming from traditional martial arts tournaments, and Nick, I'm sure this is probably the case with large fencing events, and Alan, I know you've been through this kind of thing, and it's like you're waiting for the dye in people's uniforms to dry or something between matches. It's like you're waiting for somebody to go from white belt to black belt in the next 2 hours between fights. It's like, what are we waiting for? I'm watching all of the judges like talk about their exploits 40 years ago. Can we just get somebody to call points for these 5-year-olds that want to spar? You know what I mean? Like, what are we waiting for? So that always impressed me about San Diego Sabers when I would travel out to California with them, is like, this is not a quote unquote legit martial arts school, except that they're making themselves legit by conducting themselves in this fashion. And that's exactly the way that it seemed that this went for you guys. And again, like, you have so much experience. We know that's the way you would run something, but it's nice to see it actually be the case.
Yes, it was mainly the biggest part of any tournament that I personally hate is standing around waiting for something to happen. And as somebody that's traveled a couple hundred, sometimes a couple thousand miles to go to a tournament, standing around waiting is not fun.
Right.
If I'm standing around in my armor, I'm getting fatigued, basically.
That's a good point.
So,
that's a really good point.
Yeah. So if I want exciting fights in my tournaments, I want my fighters to be fresh. I want them to be warmed up and flexible enough to know that, hey, you're fighting in 5 minutes. Get suited up now, or we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Because if you've traveled a few hundred miles, paid probably a couple $100 for a hotel, or gas, etc. It costs you a few $100 just to show up to my tournament.
Yeah.
Plus, whatever wackiness you ran into along the way, then I feel like as a tournament director or a tournament organizer, I have to give you a great time in a small amount of time, because there is a window of time where it's not fun to just stand around.
Right. Right.
Now,
and if you have exciting fights during the tournament, then you're doing that. Then you remember that tournament and you want to come back to it.
Yep.
100%.
Go ahead, Jill.
And we did have more breaks in general because we had less time between like rounds. Even with longer matches, the people who are finishing one round, they're like the last in this round, and now they need to go into their final fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We did at those points we did stop. We did put artificial wait time in there because we needed them to recover. You've just had like in the Sarlacc, they were doing double elimination, so someone has just lost a fight, won a fight, and is now coming into the third place fight. They need 5 minutes before we send them into that because of just how the brackets fell, that they would just be going bang, bang, bang in a double elimination. And we were like, nope, that doesn't work. We need to slow it down. So towards the end, we did have some slowdown, but it was very purposeful slowdown. And Alan kept it short enough that people were still feeding on the last fight energy when we got the next one rolling.
Yeah, nobody looked tired. You watch some tournaments sometimes and you see the blades on each side and they come together to crash, point. Come together to crash, point. And a lot of times people think the way to combat that is to change the rules in drastic ways. It's not. the way to combat that is to keep your fighters fresh and let them do what they do best. And that's what we just saw, especially in that last match between Dennis and Sloan. That's what happens when you allow your fighters to stay fresh. Keep them active the whole time they're there, but make that time short and sweet. I think it was nice. It was a good showing.
They had the Sarlacc Gold to sit and relax after they came out of their.
There you go.
Their division. We every like round of the bracket, so we finished like the whole run of this one division, and then we told everyone there, okay, go rest. We pulled the next division onto the mat. We switched between divisions and did rounds of each division. So we would handle all of like everyone's second fight. Then you go sit down, and we're going to go handle the next one's all their third fight. Yeah. So Alan just kept us switching between divisions. So you've got time, but obviously as we get to the end, we've got less fights in each division to go through.
That's sneaky though, in a good way for the, especially for the Sarlacc, which is the lower division, for anybody who's having trouble keeping track. For people in the Sarlacc who get a chance to watch the first round now of Rancor before they fight their second round, like they might pick up a thing or two really quickly, even subliminally, and then use it in a match and then win the match that way, that they didn't even realize they just learned that in 5 minutes. So that's a cool way to structure that. I don't know if that was intended or not, but it worked out that way. And for anybody in the Sarlacc division, that was a nice benefit for them.
It was very purposeful from Alan that's how it was. It would get our fighters rest. It would allow them to watch and enjoy the other fights. And it just kept momentum high the entire way down. So the final two matches, regardless of the order you just saw them on there, the final two matches were actually the Sarlacc Gold and then the Rancor Gold.
That's cool. You know, how do you get like kids to want to be a black belt? You show them the black belts, right? Like that's exactly the same thing. How do you get people to want to participate in Rancor? You show them the Rancor division. Like you don't hold it back and be like, it's this thing where you have to be good. No, like you let them see it, do it, be part of it, and then spar with those people on the outside of the actual competition. So
another thing about this is that I showed up on time. And there were people there that were there an hour before me.
Wow.
So there were
shout out
Jose and Tony Valdua were there like at 3:00.
Oh,
my call
good
time
job,
was 4.
boys.
I showed up right at 4.
Good job, boys.
3. Kenny was there. Richard was there. They had an impromptu HEMA lesson because he didn't want them just sitting around in his school. Sloan and Dennis and John were there early. And now, mind you, registration's at 5. So I was an hour early for registration because I have to set everything up. These guys were an extra hour early, so they got some awesome HEMA lessons there.
Cool.
And then they also got after the matches were done, after that gold medal match, and we got pictures and everything like that. There was more free sparring afterward. So we basically had the place from 4 to 8. There from 3 to 8:39. You know, we were done with the tournament at 7, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it
registration was at 5. You were done at 7. Take heed, people. Take heed. You don't need to run a 12-hour tournament.
No, you're not going to keep someone's attention that long.
Not with like less than 50 people.
I mean, it's okay. It's one thing when you're running a tournament like Phoenix Comic-Con or something like that, where people are going to come by and go, and they're going to stop and watch for 5 minutes, and then they're going to go on.
Yeah,
and the fighters will be there for the next 4 hours of this tournament. That's completely different than everyone in a room watching it, and that's the only reason they're here.
Well, and like you said, Richard doesn't just want them just like picking their noses in the corner of his martial arts school, right? Like, not that that's not saying anything bad about them. It's just like, we got to do something with you while you're here. right?
Yeah.
And kudos to them for showing up early, but you're going to be sparring on either end of that. So you don't need to, have that long of an event. I don't know. I think it's counterintuitive to like think, well, I spent all this time and money to get here. Like, don't I want to spend all my time now at the event? Like, no, like what if you've never been to Phoenix before and you wanted to like go check something out? Then like that evening you wanted to go to a specific place for dinner or go see whatever.
Right.
Now you can do that. You don't have to just like spend all your time doing a martial arts tournament.
Right. Well, that was part of it. And we had a bunch of spectators actually for this match. Friends and family members.
That's very cool.
And people that were just like, hey, what the heck is going on here? This is great. And that's part of, being an ambassador to martial arts in general is being able to speak about it and talk intelligently about what you're doing. And I'm going to give all the credit to Richard and to Jake who basically opened their doors to us for the HEMA school and said, what do you need?
That's awesome.
I basically had carte blanche. I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. They're like, all right, cool. Just make sure that, the place doesn't burn down basically, and we went in and Richard basically said, oh, I got to go get some more release forms. Crap. I was like, all right, well, I'll see you in a bit. And so because part of the venue is, obeying the venue's rules. So that's what you got to do.
When you said the place didn't burn down, did you mean to tell that joke?
A little bit.
Sorry, Richard. I know. Tear through the eye. I know.
So for those of you that don't know, that their previous place did burn down. Somebody actually
not that long ago, last year, right?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. They lit the dumpster in the back of the building on fire. The inside got smoked out. Thankfully, everything survived.
And everybody survived.
Yeah, and everybody survived besides the building. It smelled like smoke, and they had been there for another 3 months after that fire, and then they just had to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But now they're closer to where we are, so that worked out. But yeah, so part of the fact that this place was, right there for us and said, hey, just set up however you want. Let's make sure everything gets done. Let's make sure that it's all good. Everybody cleaned up after themselves. It was a good representation of Saber martial artists and also Saber martial arts. I had 3 kids that were under 18 in the Sarlacc division.
Wow.
Conducted themselves very well. I had some people from LA, I had some people from San Diego, of course. We had, I think, everybody was represented there. We had Noah, and one of his students was there.
Very cool.
They unfortunately didn't get into the medal matches, but I do have their matches on video. It does take a while to put these together. I gave myself a month, and this is the result. Of that. But yeah, this is the next level that I want to take SMAF into is, hey, if we're at your tournament, we'll help you out presenting your tournament. So
yeah, well, that's something that's what we started doing. I mean, anybody who's listened to the show since the first one knows that's how we started with Steve. Is helping each other with the tournaments, whether it was competing so that there was a more full bracket or the commentary or the video production and so forth and so on. This is what we've been doing for a long time, and what we really like to do. So, please, if there's something you want any help with, reach out to us. The website's been on the screen here for the last long time. SaberMartialArts.life. Okay. And, maybe you don't, or like you really don't need any help like running anything, but maybe you just need like a judge, or maybe you do need just some people to come compete. Like, that's also a thing we do that we would classify under like helping you run your tournament. You know, like you need 5 fighters, we can scrounge 5 fighters up, or at the very least, we'll send a message out to 105 who will be able to respond thus. So I think, you know, you're right, Alan. This is what we've always liked to do. We want to do more of it, and leveling up every time is not a bad thing. I will tell you that much. And you leveled yourself up, low tech. You might have to be called mid tech now. I don't know. You're like the blue or green belt of tech now. I don't know.
Right. Oh, you know, thankfully there's enough people out there with video tutorials that I can pause and follow simple directions to.
And
let me tell
honestly,
you, if you are on YouTube doing a Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop tutorial, I've probably seen your stuff in the past month.
Yeah,
he honestly did all this himself.
Thank you.
Well done.
Honestly, did all this himself. My contribution to it was yelling at him once to turn the music down. I was in an important meeting.
Yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
I'm willing to say that we are going to be doing this and leveling up. Also, our HEO classes. Our I know Phoenix Saber is actually going to be doing. I don't want to call them tiny lessons, but they're going to be like 1 technique videos. Like, hey, it's going to be a technique. Check this out, sort of deal, and then flavor them to taste. You know, to the different lightsaber forms, and then that stuff will all be available to those of us that are on the SMAF Instructors Enclave. If you so choose to do HEO classes, that's stuff that we want to present to you as a benefit of membership. Yeah. Looking at you,
Nicholas.
Yes, hello. That's me.
Anything coming up with you and the Penguins in the near future?
Not currently, no. There's talks of a tournament this summer, but as of right now, that's all just talk.
Fair enough.
We're just kind of, I don't know. We're just kind of training, and we're in a pretty good place right now. We're just kind of training and hanging out.
Palm Desert, SaberMartialArts.life. You go under the SMAF Schools tab, find Penguin Saber Academy if you want to get in touch and you're in the Palm Desert area of California. If you don't know where that is, the trees are not as real as the name of the place might indicate. I'll just put it that way. If you go up to the trees and knock on them, they clunk. They don't make tree sounds.
They definitely don't.
Neither do the people.
Oh man, poor Palm Desert. You guys are great. We love you.
No,
we just exist. We exist in this hellhole.
Actually, it is a great place to saber fight. And Phoenix Saber is also under the SMAF Schools tab of SaberMartialArts.life. You can find everybody on SaberMartialArts.life under the SMAF Schools tab. Hello, Delaware Saber Martial Arts. That's me. And if you're interested in this thing we keep referring to as the Holocron or the HEO, you have to be affiliated. But once you are, it's really cool because we teach you martial arts from legit martial arts teachers. And it's way more legit than that speech pattern I just vomited at you. So please check us out, SaberMartialArts.life for the 15th time. You saw a bunch of them tonight. They held up great in battle. KeySabers.com, a great sponsor of the Saber Martial Arts Foundation and our master sabersmith. We also work, I don't want to say we work closely, but Jason Hayden of Mando Corps Sabers is an affiliate of the Saber Martial Arts Foundation. He's been in a few of our tournaments, so please go check out Mando Corps as well. They make great
and
sabers.
Congratulations to him and Joe Blankenship for their win at their last TSL event.
Oh, yes. Yes, I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations, gentlemen. Very, very cool. So, hey, that's a lot of people to shout out to. San Diego Sabers, we don't want to forget about them. The conglomerate of independent saberists. What is it again? The coalition of independent sabers. Conglomerate is a Busta Rhymes song. Respect my conglomerate. So please go check out all these schools. They're all under the SMAF page, and there were many of them represented here. So you know where to find all these people. If you're in the California, Arizona, Ohio, for me, Delaware also works sometimes, and really anywhere that you have access to a Zoom account. So guys, gal, thank you so much. Do we bring our own sabers now?
I believe so. So the last thing we usually say is bring your own saber.
Bring your own saber.
Yeah, hopefully it's a key saber. Shameless plug for you, Kyle.
3-sectional. All right.
All right, dude. Now I got you doing it. The circle has become complete. Right.
That right there is a good place to end it. Awesome. Cool. That was fun. Alan, nice job on the video, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done.
Stop sharing.
Now you can sleep.
Right.
For like a day until the next tournament you have to do.
Right.